In this video, I'm gonna show you how to do a chicken health check and go through each part of the chicken's body, and stay tuned towards the end because it's important, and we'll talk about the vent. Hi there, welcome to the Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also be sure to subscribe to our website, happychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description, you'll receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So regular health checks for your birds can prevent minor problems from becoming major headaches. You probably already take mental notes of what's going on with your flock on a daily basis. This video gives you a few pointers on what you're looking for and how to deal with some minor problems as they occur. If you have a small flock, say less than 10 birds or so, you may not need to keep a written record for yourself. I personally encourage you to write things down. We are not always good at remembering dates and odd occurrences. Your notes can be as detailed as you like if you are breeding birds. Details are important to note. So let's get to work. So health chart checklist. They can be simple or more detailed. The choice is yours. You can see my checklist here that I've done in previous years. This is just an example. It's a relatively basic health chart for my laying flock. However, all vital areas are covered and there is room to make general notes. Remember, you're going to do this every month, so keep it brief. Why am I doing this, you may ask? The short answer is to monitor the health of my flock on a monthly basis. It means I can pick up on illnesses and diseases and generally catch them before they get severe. So I'm just going to kind of go through each column you need to do similar to mine. Column number 1. Name and breed. Column is for the breed, the age, the tag number, and pet name if you wish. If the bird has an NPIP or a National Poultry Improvement Plan number, you can also put that there. As you can see, I chose to put the hen's age to the far right side. In column number 2, put the comb. This column is reserved for comb and wattles. Are they red and full or dull and dry looking? Has she just finished brooding and laying? Will this affect the appearance of the comb? So make a general note to the effect that she has started her molt. Any pecks or nicks? How about dried blood? Any injury needs to be assessed and treated as appropriate. In winter, it's especially important to check large combed birds for frostbite. If found, treat accordingly. Remember, Vaseline or similar will help keep away frostbite. Column number 3 is their beak. The beak is pretty straightforward, although it can be fractured by a mousetrap, for example. The upper and lower beak should meet and align perfectly. Some birds have a slightly elongated upper beak. If they are eating and drinking well, leave it alone. If it's overgrown at the tip, you can trim with nail clippers or file down with a Dremel tool. And this is where you need to be very careful. The beak is sensitive, so don't get over enthusiastic with the Dremel. Occasionally, cross beaks are seen. Again, if eating okay, just monitor, but cross beaks usually need filing at some point. Many cross bills need deeper dishes for eating and drinking. Hopefully you are just going to put a check mark here. Next column is eyes. The eyes should be clear, bright, and alert. Check also for any drainage and discharge from the eye or nostril. A veterinarian can take a swab for you if need be. This bird should be isolated when the discharge is noticed and only reintroduced when she has a clean bill of health. The eye can be an indicator of Marek's disease. If the eye has changed from its normal color to grayish, possibly irregular shaped, you should get the bird tested as soon as possible. Some birds have visual defects from birth or as a consequence of getting older. They can get cataracts or simply have encroaching blindness. Cataracts can be seen as a clouding of the lens in the affected eye. Generally, they seem to manage quite well. My Henrietta has been partially blind since she was a chick, and she ambles around with the flock as long as they stay close to the barn. A quick tip: if you have a hen that is partially or fully blind, keep feeders and trinkers in the same place always. It makes life a bit easier for them. In column number 5, the feathers. The feathers will be ideally glossy and tight unless you have a frizzle or a similar breed to that. The bird's plumage after the breeding season looks worn out, and many birds will molt at this time. In this way, they will have a nice snug coat of feathers for the cold weather to come. The best layers in your flock will molt fast and regrow feathers fast. Make a note of who the superstars are. Something else to look for in the feathers are parasites. Lice and fleas are fairly easy to spot, whereas mites are tiny and not always seen with the naked eye. If you do see any, dust them down and repeat treatment in 7 to 10 days. If the hen has been constantly preening, it may be that the parasites are bothering her, so dust her down just in case. You can also supply them with a dust bath area. It will help to keep the parasite load fairly low to non-existent. If your birds are reluctant to go roost every night, treat the coop with poultry powder or a natural alternative, paying special attention to the roosts. It's possible the birds won't want to roost roost because of mites. The mites come out at night and bite the hen, so she has a miserable time trying to sleep. Column number 6 is the crop. The crop is the quickest and easiest area to check. The crop is where the bird stores the food waiting to be digested. It should be empty in the morning when you let them out and full at bedtime. Assuming that you're doing checks during the day, sometime the crop should be full and rounded. It should not be pendulous, nor should it be flat. When you gently squeeze the crop, it should feel mushy, not rock hard. If the crop is hard, it could mean it's impacted. This is serious and your hen will need a veterinarian to help her. When inspecting the crop, if the hen's breath smells like rancid milk, they have a sour crop. Other signs include unwilling to eat and lethargic. You can try gently massaging the crop. This may work for a minor problem, but you may have to be more aggressive in your treatment. There are several treatment options for this problem. The one I prefer is simple, natural, and easy to implement. You'll need to isolate the hen and withhold food for 24 hours. She can have clean, fresh water only. You can also give her a few drops of either olive or coconut oil by syringe to get things moving. Once the crop has emptied, give her some scrambled egg with a dollop of plain yogurt. The yogurt helps to rebuild the good bacteria in the crop. Once the crop is working again, keep the hen away from any long fibrous materials such as grass and tough stems of plants. And column number 7 is the legs and feet. The scales on the legs should be smooth and uniformly colored. In an older bird, the scales are slightly rougher, but they should not be raised or uneven. If they are, she may have scaly leg mites. If you have feathered leg birds, check the legs very carefully for parasites. It's an area that's often missed. To treat this condition, you should first soak her feet in warm soapy water. Remove her from the water and pat the legs dry. Using an old toothbrush, gently apply olive oil to the scales to make sure to get up and under the raised scales. Repeat treatment every couple of days until the new scales start to come in. This may take a while, possibly months. The bottom of the hen's feet should be checked for any impacted dirt in the foot crevices, or perhaps she has bumblefoot. This is an infection of the foot pad, and it usually starts with a small cut or splinter to the foot. Bacteria enters the wound and sets up shop. The bumble will look like a black or dark area which you cannot remove by rubbing or washing. The bumble will slowly grow over time, which can cause a systemic infection of the hen. A veterinarian should be consulted about treatment options, which is usually antibiotics and the removal of the bumble. Last note about the legs here: if your birds are banded, check that the band isn't too tight or causing any problems. Column number 8, the vent. A chicken who is laying will have a pink, moist vent. Those that are past their prime will have a pale, dry vent, although this does not prevent them from laying an occasional egg or two. Mites and flies love the vent area, so check carefully for any black specks or any signs of irritated or raw areas. Use poultry dust or natural means to rid your birds of parasites. Quick note: some folks use cat or dog flea medicine such as ivermectin. This is an off-label use of the medicine and as such should be only prescribed by a veterinarian. There are recorded cases of neurotoxicity in chickens, so proceed with caution. The vent is a favorite place for other birds to peck at, so any slight sign of injury or blood will lead to cannibalism if not caught quickly. A hen with vent issues such as a prolapse vent must be quickly isolated from her flock mates for her own safety. While you're checking the rear end, trim off any really poopy feathers. This will discourage flies from the area. And if you need to know how to do a vent check, we have a video that I'll link here. It's a video that basically show you how to sex the chicken, but it's also a great video on how to do a vent check for chicks, and I'd say can apply to hens as well. And lastly, column number 9, activity. Is your chicken acting normally? Is she broody right now, or is she appearing lethargic for no good reason? Usually this column just gets a check mark, but if she's acting lethargic, you will hopefully check her over more carefully and keep an eye on her progress. She may simply be having an off day. Lastly, general remarks. This is your notation area. Remember to keep it brief. You'll see on my chart the note is brief and usually dated. That's really all you need. You can follow up on progress with the next month's check. For example, you'll see that 2 of my hens have had bumblefoot removal. The area will be checked 4 to 5 days after surgery, and if it looks healed, the notation will be put on the following month's chart. Many folks keep records of who are the best egg layers as well, so they can weed out the slackers in the flock. As noted earlier, breeders will keep good records of their breeding stock, so by extension, keeping a monthly check on your hen's health is important for the health of the flock as a whole. It is far easier to treat 1 or 2 birds than your entire flock, so the health check on your bird should take you no more than 5 minutes per bird unless you uncover problems. Generally speaking though, the check is usually quick and simple as long as your birds cooperate. If you have some birds that are skittish and don't like being picked up, roosting time is the time to catch them. Also bear in mind, you don't have to do all the birds in one day. I usually average around 10 birds per day. If you found this video valuable, also check out this video over here. That's going to do for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop. Thanks for listening. If you find our content interesting, if you learned something new, please be sure to like the video. video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. With that, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.